It is Vlogmas Day 2 for us, and we are wanting to share our reading wrap up for last month.
I gave that book, I think, a 2-star.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't very good.
I read this book in
You're
2 days or a day.
2?
Yeah, I read this book really fast.
Okay, why am I reading this? I don't have amnesia. Jennifer, where are we going?
And it was just, it just had us on our toes the whole time. I loved it.
We both gave it a 5-star.
We both gave it a 5-star.
Yeah.
They had loads of those moments in here, and sometimes it was like, oh my gosh. But overall, it was really good. Hey Bookworms! It's Mom, aka Sarah,
and Char.
Welcome back to our channel. First things first, disregard our background, guys. We are still in the midst of getting this library together. It has been a lot of work because not only are we trying to transform this space, we're actually trying to also transform the space in which we kind of switched with. This was my kids' playroom. Now the kids' playroom is more so the kids' rec room / play area, and I had to kind of transform that area for them. So we were all kind of working towards that more so while trying to do this. And it's a lot of work, and it's also a lot of books. So honestly, kind of feels like we just moved. That's what it feels like for me.
Yeah, it really did, because we moved so many things around, and we're trying to just divide time between here and there.
Exactly. Planning
out how we really want to sort this space out, because you don't want to throw up the books and then figure out, oh, actually we want it a different way.
Exactly.
Better to just organize first and then have everything how we actually want it to be.
Exactly. So that's just happy to get that out the way. It is Vlogmas Day 2 for us, and we are wanting to share our reading wrap up for last month.
Last month, I feel like last month was pretty long. It lasted a good amount of time, and I think we got some good books in.
Yeah, I feel like for you, you kept telling me that the month seemed like it took forever.
The month took forever. It actually did. Like, it felt like it moved in slow-mo for me.
It didn't for me. I felt like it was moving rather fast, because I'm also still shocked that we're here in December.
Yeah. December just snuck up on us, though.
It did.
The end, yeah. Anyway.
That said, we're going to share with you the books that we read in the month of November. Honestly, I told you guys last time for me that I was personally in a reading slump, so I felt like I didn't start off November fast, or like even on the best of note, but I picked up.
You did.
I picked up speed.
You did. Like, halfway through, you were like, okay, we gotta get started. And you're like, and it was just so fast.
I kind of checked in and saw my goal for the year, and I saw that it was fast approaching. I was like, okay, your girl's gotta get this going. I was like, this is a goal. It's a pact that I made to myself, and I don't want to disappoint my own self. So we're gonna try to achieve this goal, and so that's kind of like what my motivation is. So here we are.
Exactly. I think it's been a while since we've actually done a full-on reading wrap-up. We didn't do one for August or October, I don't think.
Because sometimes we wrap it up in the vlogs, but I do rather them on the, like on a standalone, especially for me for this month, because this month I read 7 books. 7 books. I'm actually very happy with myself.
That's great.
Yeah,
7.
I'm pretty happy with myself. How many did you read?
I read 4.
Which is still good, because you had a lot going on this month.
I'm pretty proud of, because again, I think we've referenced it. I've started quite a few books. Juggling between those, the fact that I'm finishing some, I'm pretty happy with.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. So anyways, we're gonna kind of just jump right into our reading. Do you want to start first?
Yeah, I can start.
Okay.
Okay. First things first, so I only have 1 physical book out of the 4 that I read. So the first one that I read was an ebook that I actually mentioned in a previous video talking about the worst books of the year.
Yeah.
This one was Boy Nobody. I don't know what else to say. If you guys watched that video, you know that I gave that book, I think, a 2-star.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't very good.
You weren't feeling it, huh?
I was not feeling it. The premise sounded really interesting. It was about a boy who's an assassin, and about him being sent on a mission. I'm like, okay, I feel like this could get somewhere. You know, it sounded pretty good, and yeah, no, it did not take off how I wanted it to. The characters in it, I really hated the characters actually. They were not good at
wow.
all. Even him, he was okay.
Yeah.
But like, he was also very bland as a character.
Oh, it doesn't. What was lacking, like background or
well,
narrative?
I think the fact that he's an assassin, he's supposed to not really show any emotion.
Oh, okay.
So he was already kind of lacking in the emotional aspect, right?
Oh,
and the only emotions he was showing was his like to a girl, who was really annoying throughout the whole book, honestly. Oh. But yeah, other than that, the plot was really good. You know, I feel like it could have gone somewhere, but I was like skimming near the end. I was like, okay, I just want to finish this, and then yeah. Oh. I was just trying to get through it. But I gave it on 2 stars, so it's the first in a trilogy that I'm not going to be reading.
Oh well.
But anyway.
Some are hit, some are a miss.
Some are hit,
right?
some are miss. But
so. Okay, so for me, the first book that I started reading was The Boyfriend, and I didn't even, honestly, I haven't been keeping track to realize that Frida McFadden came out with another book, because I really do like her writing. So when The Boyfriend came out, I was like, oh, okay, let's kind of jump on that and try it. When I first started reading this book, I was like, oh, this is gonna be so good. But then as I progressed towards the middle, I was like, confusion. What? Like, there are times when I was so confused about characters or confused about what was happening. Exactly. And then when you guys chimed in, you guys were also a little confused about characters. Were like, what? I found myself rereading to go. Anyways, the ending for me was like a bit of a twister. Yeah. Even though I felt like I could kind of see it coming. Overall, I think I gave that book, what did I give it? I gave it a 3. I gave it a 3 because it still captivated my attention. Yeah. She just comes up with like real weird characters with weird like obsessions and mannerisms. Oh my gosh. And they're used to throw you off in her books, like throw you all the way off. So you'll be focusing on this and you're thinking, that's bad guy. Exactly. And then you learn quickly that, oh, okay. Like, it's just weird. I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm just saying, like, there's just so much going on in this book because there were several characters throughout, and overall I actually enjoyed it, but I didn't like the confusion parts. Like, being confused when you're reading is just not fun. You're just thinking, why am I confused here? Especially if I'm like, you know? Exactly. Yeah. Oh, for that one I read and I also listened to the audio. It was on Kindle Unlimited as well as the audio, and so you guys got to, I was sharing glimpses of the audio with these guys. And it was so fun too, because while you're reading, when you would come to a part where it's like, oh, okay, this makes more sense now. Yes. You would like take an earbud and like talk to us and tell us, oh, this and this happened. So now we know and we're not lost. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Overall, I gave it a 3. That's literally all I have to say about that book. Yeah. I will not be reading that one ever again. So, next. I just won't. I know I won't. So which one did you read next? Okay, next one for me is All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the 3rd book in the Natural series. I have been slowly making my way through the series. I gave this one, I think, a 4-star. Oh, wow. This series has been a solid 4-star series. Oh. It's not bad, and that's not good. Oh, I mean, like... 4 is really good. 4 is pretty good. Really good. But like, it's just kind of sad because like it leaves me wanting more. Like, like it's so close. It just, do you wish this book was bigger? Thing. No, because I keep hearing people say stuff like that these days. I'm like, when authors write the books and make them so big, they're complaining. But then lately, as I've been reviewing books, especially like for Christmas, people are like, oh, this was like a good book, but I felt like it wasn't enough. It didn't tell enough. And basically what they're saying, in other words, is that it just needed more content and more writing. I'm like, oh, so we are asking for more book now. So that's not what you're asking for. No. Okay. I think it's just what she focuses on. Oh. And some of the things that she says, like some of the parts are getting so repetitive. Scenes that she's written from the first novel to this one, which is the 3rd, I'm still hearing and like reading. I'm not gonna give any spoilers, but yeah, it's just like really annoying to be reading the same scenes over and over again. She just writes it in different ways, but it's the same thing. And you're like, okay, why am I reading this? I don't have amnesia. Jennifer, where are we going? But yeah, it's like a solid 4-star series. It leaves me wanting it to like hit that 5-star, but I'm content with it. I'm content.
It's really easy to read these. This one actually I left for a while, but when I pick it up, it goes really fast.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm in the midst of the 4th one, and so we'll see. We'll see.
Okay guys, so the next one that you guys would have seen me read in another vlog I was showing is The Couple Next Door. I don't know why, like I just wanted to pick this book up. I've been wanting to pick this book up for a long time, and for some reason I was just like, oh, let's just pick it up, because I have basically a little shelf in our upstairs in our living room where we just kind of keep the few that we're like, we really want to read those. But do we ever stick to it? No.
Actually, I feel like it makes us not pick those books
I know, that's what I'm saying. And so this has been on there for months. It's been on there for almost like a solid year.
Yeah.
Finally picked it up. This book started off really good. I was really enjoying the storyline, but then I found like it got a little bit slower, just because after a while I felt like I was kind of reading the same things over and over again, like basically like what you just said. But then as the story picked up, it got progressively better. And it's funny because I thought like I knew where it was gonna go. Like this book seems so obvious given, which I should know better. This is my first time reading Shari Lapena, by the way, so I've never read her writing style before. This book, she gives like, you know, like solid, like straightforward things, and you're like, oh, okay, so I know that's what's up. Yeah. But I think for me that was such like a tricky move, because I'm like, oh, it made me question like what's gonna happen next every time, because it's like you're giving me the answer. Exactly.
Or it's like, so what's the catch?
Yeah.
Kinda.
So it's like, what's the catch? Anyways, as it picked up, it just, I couldn't put it down. Like I read this book in the, what was it, like 2 days or a day? 2? Yeah, I read this book really fast. The twist was twisting and the ending was really good. I actually really enjoyed that. I just was really taken aback by the story in general. There are things in it that were like, you know, just seemed so like annoying, given that I feel like I can't talk about it because
exactly.
I can't talk about it because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. Just know that this was a good read on a whole, but like I said, I did find a few little, you know, slow patches in the midst, but it was more so before it gained momentum. So I guess it was like the backstory, and because there's investigative things occurring, you know, investigation can be like repetitive over and over. That's what was happening. But overall I gave it a 4-star, and honestly it could have been like a 4.5. I only deducted it for that small
thing
section.
Small thing. Yeah. Did you listen to that on audiobook at all?
I don't know, did I?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
I may have. I think I may have. I'm not sure.
Perhaps.
Did I? I don't know. I don't know. I read for this. I remember reading mostly this. I remember reading.
I think you've read most of it.
I read most of this because it was basically on a Saturday where I just kind of sat on the couch. Yeah. For the most part, and also I started reading it the night before.
Exactly.
Yeah, I read it and I was up reading it with your nightlight when I should have been sleeping. So yeah, I think for some reason I feel like I must have found the audio, because for me, every time I find the book, I generally try to find the audio, especially like when I'm doing different things, you know, like cleaning and doing different things, to try to listen to it. But I actually didn't get the chance to like that with this one. So
this one, you read it really fast though, because you saw like the font, the text,
the font is amazing. Oh my gosh. So the format and the font, super amazing. I love reading books like this. It's just like so straightforward. It's easy to read. The size is great. Yeah. And just the writing, the font that they chose was like, that she chose, perfect. Like, you know, easy on the eyes, and was just awesome. I just loved it. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so next book for me, brain. Come on, work. Next one for me, I actually read this for school, but I did really enjoy it, and this was Macbeth by Shakespeare. Yeah, it was really interesting. I definitely did not know what Macbeth was before. You know, when you hear it and you're like, okay, I feel like I kind of know what it's about based on what I hear people saying.
Because that's like me right now, because I have not read Macbeth.
Yeah. But I always heard it's like, oh, like don't say Macbeth if you're gonna perform it and stuff, you know. Oh. Reading books in play format, yeah, interesting. You know, you don't get the whole, oh, he did this, he did that, obviously, because it's a play. But I did really enjoy it. The storyline and the old writing was actually really fun to interpret and everything. And yeah, I gave this one I think a 4-star.
Oh,
A 4-star. This is my second Shakespeare play. I read Romeo and Juliet.
And
that one was fun. I enjoyed Macbeth more though.
Nice.
Yeah.
This next one we both listened to, and it is The Widow's Husband's Secret Lie. And this one is another book by Frida McFadden. I read 2 Frida McFadden books. Well, this one I didn't read. This one was actually the audio that we both listened to. And it is so funny because this is a satirical novella, basically. And it was just, it just had us on our toes the whole time. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I don't know.
We both gave it a 5-star.
We both gave it a 5-star.
Yeah, and it's so fun. On Goodreads, it got like a 3.4 something.
And I was saying that I think it's because some people don't know how to take a joke.
Yeah.
Because she wrote it from such a comedic standpoint.
Exactly. It was making fun of all these things.
Yeah, so much satire in it. And if you're not a person that is, I don't know. I don't want to say if you're not a person that's joyous, but I feel like that's what it takes to understand the satire in it. It's just all comical. It just reminds me of like Taming of the Shrew and just those kind of old school Shakespearean tales or stuff like that. It's just very, very funny. Ate it up. Like there's no more words to say because it's a novella, and to talk about there's not much. I don't want to say too much because you're just gonna spoil it.
Exactly, but it's honestly so fun. I mean, we've read a few Frida McFadden books now.
Yeah.
And this is actually probably one of the best ones. Probably one of the best ones. It's honestly so fun. The audiobook is 4 hours and we were on like 2 times speed, so we read it in like 2. And yeah, honestly, like we were laughing.
Definitely recommend. We definitely recommend this one. And yeah, just if you haven't picked it up, give it a go, especially if you are like us. You know, for me, I was like, you know what, let me give it a go because it is a short read and I'm trying to wrap up my goal with 7 more books, and I just threw that one in there and I just ate it up in like such a short time. So then I was like, Charlotte, you should listen to this. It was like so good. The audio was banging. Super cool. So that one counts for both of us because we both read it. So this next one is kind of like taking off the Christmas season. The season was coming and it's here now. I noticed that Megan Quinn put one out. The cover drew me to it. Like it wasn't even so much the title, How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. It was more so just the cover. The cover is just like,
the cover is cute.
It's just so cute. It's just so vibrant. I was like, okay, let's just check this one out.
It's just giving holiday season.
Yeah, I don't own this one, but once again, I do have it. I read it on Kindle along with listening to the audio. This one was a really good audio. I listened to it while I was cooking many a times. Just loved it. And I read along with it on my Kindle. Really good. Enjoyed it. I have to say, it was never a 5-star for me because it is very like I wouldn't say Hallmarkish, but what's the word? Like cheesy. It's kind of cheesy. And while I love reading like romance, for me I like realness. So cheesy, while I like it, sometimes cheesy can be too cheesy. Yeah. They had loads of those moments in here and sometimes it was like, oh my gosh. But overall it was really good because it was very fun. And what it is just this guy who is kind of like the Grump. He's kind of like the Scrooge for his own reasons. And then there's her, his enemy, because it's an enemy to lovers type of book. And what I really enjoyed about it is that it was like the town or wherever they lived is very like they celebrate Christmas kind of year round, and it's just really fun. And it's kind of like what you want your family to be for Christmas. Yeah. Doing all the fun things and all the festive activities and things like that. So I love that part. And of course there's I don't know if I would say it's quite, I guess it's a bit of miscommunication, but it wasn't like intense miscommunication because I hate that. Like I cannot stand like severe miscommunication. That's just like, it's too bad. It's too bad. Like it makes you like severely annoyed. Like, just stop. So talk to each other. Exactly. And anyways, without spoiling anything for you guys, I really enjoyed it. I say I would give it like a 3.5. The only reason why I gave it less is because the cheese factor for me is just over, you know, it's a little bit cheesy. And yeah, I mean, it's just like, you know, it's nothing like a 5-star for me. There's no real like major substance. It's just cheese factor.
Exactly.
Which is
it's one of those books that you do pick up knowing it's going to kind of be a 3-star.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
This one had a little spice in it too, and that was another part of it for me. Why I gave it lower marks is because it had spice in it, and some part it was just like too much. I'm like, okay, like yeah. So there's that. But Megan Quinn's writing is actually not bad. I think I'll definitely try another book by her, and I've been seeing a bunch of hers circulate kind of like around now that there's like Black Friday sales.
Yeah.
So I'm like debating if I should get my hands on another one of her books.
She sounds so familiar, but I can't remember what other books she wrote.
Yeah. So the next one that I also read is The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. And this one I read along as well, but mostly listened to the audio. And yeah, it was okay. I don't know. I feel like so many people were raving about this one. The hype was hyping. But I was like, I don't know. This one was terrible. This one was terrible for the miscommunication trope. There was just so much miscommunication. I was like, okay, like why?
Like the miscommunication was
why?
the plot.
It's just so frustrating because it's just like all you could do is ask a question. I know the author is throwing in the miscommunication on purpose, but like the characters will come across as like stupid because they could just talk in that moment and just say like one thing that will change everything, and yet they don't. They're just like, oh no, I don't want to hear what you have to say because it probably will change my mind. So I'm just going to keep walking in this direction and just pack my bags and leave for a long time until I learn that something happens, and then I'll come crawling back and say, oh my gosh, and then me too. Like frustration at its finest. So this for me, I don't want to talk about it too much. Lori Gilmore. Oh, I also heard that the author's name isn't really Gilmore or something along the lines.
Yeah, but like she writes to emit that kind of Gilmore
girlish vibes. I didn't get that per se. I don't know. But then I haven't submerged myself into the Gilmore Girls world. I've seen episodes, and at one point I was saying we should watch it as well. So I don't know if I'm like the person to vouch for it to say that it's not quite that, but I didn't quite feel that was the vibe. Anyways, I gave it a 3-star. This also had a little too much spice for my liking. This spice? Yeah, this was only spice. Like it was only like pumpkin spice, pumpkin. Like all it did was create a lot of vibes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just felt very fallish. So it was nice. Maybe it would have been even better to read it like it is still fall, but it doesn't feel like that when I'm seeing snow outside.
Yeah.
So the vibe was really vibing.
I think that's the only reason why it was really getting so much hype, because it's literally the epitome of fall.
Yeah.
You were like, okay, if I don't read this book in the fall, when am I gonna read it? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And you showed a review that like perfectly summed up what you thought.
Yes.
Where it's like, what
I don't know. They said that. So when I was done reading the book, I was like, I was like, wow, I wonder what others think about this. So I kind of took to go checking out reviews and stuff. You know, for me, when I'm done, I don't usually even do that. I'm just like, oh, okay, boom, go in. If I have time, boom, throw in my little review, and I'm gone to my next book. Like, because I know how valuable my time is. For this one, I was like, let me go check out the reviews. And honestly, the reviews were just along the lines of what I was thinking. They're like, this book was vibes all around. And yes, it has like, I don't say a lot of spice, but it does have spice, especially if that's your thing. But in terms of having like a lot of content, there wasn't a lot of content. Yeah. And then on top of it, you throw in the miscommunication trope, and it's like, what do you have? It's a little crazy. It's a little crazy. So anyways, that is enough talking about the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I do have, on the other hand, the Christmas, what's it called?
Oh, the Christmas farm.
The Christmas tree farm?
Yes.
So I do, on the other hand, have the Christmas tree farm. I am going to try another book by this author, but I did review that one. And from what I saw, the reviews were actually better. So I'm holding on to that, and the vibes on a whole is just going to be different, I think. At least, because it does have a completely different rating than this one. Anyways, this other book, I just picked it up at random. I was actually looking at our cloud library and those kinds of resources, because I've been kind of neglecting it. I've been reading more physical books, and I haven't been actually listening to audios for a while. We kind of both were talking about that. So I was like, you know what, let me go check out some stuff and see what they had available. And then I saw this book. It's called The Wives, okay? It's by Valerie Koch, I think, or Keg. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I apologize if I'm butchering it. But this book was stellar. It was so good. I was listening to the audio and I tandem read with this one. I much preferred actually reading the book in this one, or reading along with the audio, because when I listen to the audio, I listen at a faster speed. So then it forced me to read quickly with the book as well. I found that there was just so much going on. I wanted to hear it in its entirety. And when I found myself like busy trying to do other things like cleaning and stuff, and I actually tried to listen to it, I was always backtracking. I'm like, what? Oh my gosh. Okay. I felt like I kept missing everything. So I couldn't do that with this one. There's a lot of characters to keep track of. Yeah. There's a lot going on all the time. And if I'm doing my thing and my kids come up and say, Mommy, like for 2 seconds, I would have missed what just happened. You kind of missed like something, like an important piece of information. Yeah. So it was just, I couldn't listen to that one that way. But I read this book in like a day. You read it in a day. I'm pretty sure it was a day. You read that so fast. Oh, okay. It was so funny because as soon as you finished one of the other ones, you picked that one immediately. Yes. And then you said that you were like 22% of the way through. Yes. Right as soon as you picked it up, I'm like, what? How? And then because I think it was like the same night. Because I sat on the couch and I started that day, and it's a fast-paced book, and because this is like a British narrator, like they talk, and I think they speak a little slower. So I'm able to put it a little faster because, I don't know, I was just able to put it faster, and it just helped me to get through really quickly. It was just really cool reading the book, like reading for myself. Sometimes I found myself, because the story was so good, I was reading ahead. I was telling Charlotte, I was like reading like a page and a half ahead, and I was like, okay, stop. And because the place that we're listening through, it can be finicky with backtracking and it is honestly so annoying. There's no way to skip it like a minute ahead without skipping an hour ahead. I didn't want to make a big mess of it, so I'd just be like waiting. I'm like, like, it's so good. You guys should check it out. This book has so many twists and turns. It basically is about this woman who she has her life going on, but then she meets someone, and her life just takes a quick turn, and it just goes like crazy from then on. It's really good, and it involves like all these other people, and it's just really cool. I need to find another book by this woman, because her writing style, her character building, everything was fire. I gave it 5 stars. Okay, this last one for me that I picked up at random, guys, I picked up Daisy Jones and the Six. This was on my bookshelf, and I just kept thinking, every time I see someone read it, I kept saying, I should go read that book. But for some reason, I was never drawn to picking it up, though I love the color, and I knew it was trending a while back, but it's just been there, Yeah. I love the story adaptation. I love the interview style audibly. I did use an audiobook to go, I tandem read with this, and I listened to the audio because a lot of people who were reviewing this were telling us that we should listen to the audio. Yeah. That it was really good. They were raving about it. They were raving about it. And so I listened to it. Oh my gosh. It just made the book, because let's be real. I'm not gonna lie, there's one little negative that for me, or a little downside. I know while some people absolutely love dialogue completely, this book is dialogue completely. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like sometimes I find it a bit much, because there was no he said, she said. Yeah. It's just strictly just reading. It's like Graham says, I could tell he hated it. And Karen said, oh, he hated it. He definitely hated it. And then Rod said, Teddy took him aside and they went for a drive. Like, you know what I mean? It just felt like I'm just going through names. I'm going through names and just reading things and reading things. It feels like you're just reading a script. Yeah, it made me feel like I was reading a script. I wasn't loving the reading just by itself, but I thoroughly, and I mean thoroughly, because I still gave it a 5 star. That was like an issue. I think if it was any other book, I'd be like, yeah, no, we're gonna deduct a point for that. No, this book was really, really well written. It just felt so real. I felt like I was reading an autobiography.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like an autobiography, and I'm learning about like someone's real story and the depiction and the characters and the commitment. Taylor Jenkins Reid did her thing with this one completely. Overall, I really enjoyed this book, and guess what? It is actually reviewed by Ellen Hildebrand, which is another author who I've yet to read, but I actually have been buying her books like crazy just because it just looks like stuff I will read, and I've heard amazing reviews from people who read things and love books similarly to mine. I know, call me crazy, but so far they haven't steered me wrong, because a lot of the books that I've picked up by them I have adored. This one I will have on my shelf. Like, this is a book I will read again.
Yeah.
I saw that someone said they read this book 3 times. I've
must
not
really love that
You
book.
must really love it, but
Yeah.
I really love this. And this is one now, you know, sometimes I hear you guys, you and Dad, will say, oh, I just like to crack the book to my favorite parts, and I'm thinking this is gonna be that book that I do that with.
Yeah.
It was just so good, and honestly, I love the characters. I really enjoyed the characters.
I think characters make up half the book. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the characters in this book.
This
it's
is
like actually like feel, you know, I'm like talking about it and I'm like, oh, I can feel it in the gut. Like
Yeah.
I feel the joy from reading this book. Like, of course, like all the content matter in the book isn't all happy and joy all the time, but the characters on a whole, they were so committed. Like, this woman did such an amazing job with this book that the characters stayed true to themselves.
Yeah.
From the beginning.
When they actually have like a
throughout.
personality.
They had,
and they choose.
each had personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really, really love that, because that's when you have a really well written character.
Exactly.
Right?
And she had so many. I'm like so shocked that she was able to deliver consistency through like across the board with all of them. So yeah,
you gotta love that.
If you haven't read this, guys, read it. And I would say listen to the audio. Listen to the audio, because listen to me promoting reading it. Like, reading it, if you are good with dialogue and you love to read like a whole book on dialogue, I feel like I need practice. So I feel like now that I listen to audio, next time around I should probably like fully read it all the way, because I didn't read it all the way. I read my bookmark. My bookmark is here. I don't know where I left off. My bookmark is in the wrong spot. It's just been tossed around on the sofa many a times and just taken in and whatever. But I only read close to like page 80, 90 along, like until I fully just committed to the audio, because the audio was so much better. Around those pages, I was like, I said to Charlotte, I'm like, I am so annoyed. I was like telling her I was so annoyed.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I've never read a book like this. I think that's where the frustration came from in terms of the dialogue. Just like all dialogue. Have you read a book like that?
I've read Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. That's in play. That's in play
form.
So yeah, it was kind of similar to that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was my first time. So we'll see. Yeah.
I don't really like it like that either. But yeah.
But that's it. And and I'm currently started a new book. So the book that I'm currently starting is The Midnight Library, because right now I am 43 of 50 books for the end of the year, and we are in the last month, guys. So I really have my work cut out for me. I really kind of have to deliver, at least read 7 books. Yeah. And I feel like we're gonna have to do another video maybe where we choose some of the thinnest books in our library to kind of help, you know, us get through.
Yep.
Because we're actually kind of at the same place. You're not that behind. We're very close.
Yeah, right? Yeah, like 2 books off maybe.
We get off time from school, so we have some time to squeeze in.
Definitely.
Some reading.
Definitely.
Some holiday reading.
Excited. Yeah. Honestly.
But that is it. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, not really. Other than the fact that I have a lot of books that I'm trying to finish, and so what we plan on doing is making a whole vlog on finishing all the books that we're currently reading.
Oh yeah.
So just to put that out there for you guys to look for, because I have so many that I need to finish, and so do you. You actually have quite a bit that you
do.
need to finish.
Yeah, I do. And it's also because I haven't been gravitating towards my Kindle as much either.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been just picking up books, and then my Kindle is sitting there. This time around, the selection that I have here, it forced me to use audio. Like, I currently have my Audible points. I think it's like 6 or 7 points because I wasn't using them.
Yeah.
So I've been racking them up. And then basically it's a new month. So we get to select new audio with some of our like, oh, okay. So I'm like, you know what? Let's utilize some of that to help me get through and meet my goal. And then I'm just curious to know what my goal is going to be for the following year. I'm doing some like thought. I'm thinking, doing some thought. What am I saying? Oh my gosh.
Doing some thoughts. Are you doing thoughts? Yeah.
Doing some thinking. And yeah, just trying to decide like what I'm gonna do for the upcoming year, what my reading goal is, because this was my first time getting back into reading.
Exactly.
And I started off with my goal at 35, remember? And then I think maybe even 25.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, I'll do the 35. And then I quickly changed it to 40 and then to 50. I changed it a few times, but now I feel like, I mean, I've got a whole library now. So I'm all in now. I've got to be consistent and read, and I'm excited.
Exactly.
I'm just excited.
Very excited. Like you said, yeah, like we just started actually like officially reading for real, right? This year. And like
you've always been reading.
Yeah, we've always been reading, but like even then, I think it was like here and there sometimes, right?
Yeah.
I think last year I did read like maybe like 15 books, right? But like this is a lot bigger goal. This is 50 books, right? So it's like,
and you did that while all achieving straight A's on the honor roll at school. Like, that's pretty good because you got homework and orchestra and other commitments that you're trying to uphold too. So it's like, I understand, like it's a lot to take on that kind of goal, but when it's a hobby and you like it, that's like, it makes it easier.
It's so fun, honestly.
Yeah.
Like when we're down here, we're just like working on our room, working out there, organizing. We both had our audiobooks in.
Yes.
And we're like, you know what? We could be down here all day. What? You want to leave us down here? Yeah.
Daisy Jones helped get through that craziness over there. Why do the kids have so much stuff? Oh my gosh. Who bought it for them? Oh. I know.
Gee, I wonder who.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So trying to figure out where to put their stuff without having the space look cluttered is it's a feat. So we're trying.
It's getting done.
It's getting done. And I love a good audiobook to try to help me get it done, because then it just helps me to not feel just like overwhelmed entirely.
It's actually calming.
It's calming.
It's actually really calming.
And I'm distracting myself, and I feel like I'm getting 2 birds with 1 stone. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't say the other word. I'm getting 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, that is it for our reading wrap up. Let me know if you guys have read any of these books, just in general or in the past year, and share your thoughts on them, because I always love to hear your guys' thoughts on the books that we shared. I have 2 of the physical ones. I'm glad, you know what, the Megan Quinn one, I was gonna buy the physical copy, but then it was available on Kindle. I'm like, why not? And because it was a holiday one, I wasn't sure, and I'm glad I didn't spend money to buy that one, because I'm like, I'm never gonna read it again. The Wives, I would probably read that again. The Wives was actually really, really good. The Boyfriend was another one that I'm glad I probably didn't buy that one, because I'm not gonna read that one again either.
It's so funny, because that was the one that was like on sale at our Indigo for like $10.
Yes.
And we're like, oh, you should get this. And you're like, I gotta like do research on that first. And
and we've since heard that Frida came out with another one in the Maid series that we've both read the complete Maid series. We heard that she came out with the Maid's Wedding or something.
Yeah.
Something along the lines.
Wedding?
The Housemaid's Wedding.
2.5.
I just saw that one selling for $5. I'm like, I don't know if I want to go there. Maybe we'll go there. We'll see. We'll see. Oh my goodness. I thought I was done, and here we are, even discussing this.
Here we are. I was really shocked with that, because that came out like November 22nd or something, or 20th, something. Like, it came out last month. She's been putting out book after book. It's honestly really crazy. We're just trying to keep up with things.
Yeah. Trying to keep up with her.
Trying to keep up with her books.
anyways, yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content, and
We'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.
Whoa.